guys, and welcome back to Saved a Wretch Like Me. I hope that you guys are having a great day and that you guys are really enjoying these videos. If you are not subscribed yet, please be sure to click the subscribe button down below because we want to spread the love of God. So I wanted to follow on from last week's video by doing a little Christianity 101. Like, if you're new to Christianity, these are your go-to videos for how to get started with coming closer to God. And the first one is kind of simple, but kind of also not. How to read the Bible. Okay, you guys, this week's memory verse is from 2 John chapter 1, verse 9, and it reads, "Anyone who wanders away from this teaching has no relationship with God." And that is why, guys, we need to know the teaching. And this is why it's so important for these memory verses and also reading your Bible. That's why it links into today's video, if anybody was wondering. So there are numerous different ways to read the Bible, and I feel like that can be quite overwhelming. It was for me when I started my journey with faith. And so I wanted to share my top tips on how to read the Bible. So I have two Bibles. I have this one, which is my OG Bible. It is beautiful, and what's in it is even better. I also have another Bible. Actually, let me get it. So this is my other Bible. Now this is a bilingual Bible. So part of it is Spanish, part of it is English, and I just like this because then I can cross-reference the difference. So I should really get a French one as well, but I quite like it to see the differences in the translations. So my first tip to anybody starting to read the Bible is pick an easy translation. So I went with the New International Version, the NIV, and it's just a much more simple translation. It's not got the these, thous, thys kind of thing in it. It's just very simple to read. So for example, in Ezekiel, I've just opened the Bible and it's turned to Ezekiel chapter 44, and it says, "Then the man brought me back to the outer gate of the sanctuary, the one facing east, and it was shut." It's quite easy. It's not, "When I was in the outer gate it was closed," and it's not posh. Like, it's straight to the point. So for me, that was very important that I didn't get a posh translation. Some of the translations, I mean, they still have their purpose, don't get me wrong, but for starting out, I recommend getting a simple translation that you're going to be able to understand, because there's so much juicy content in there that the language isn't going to be another thing that you want to kind of hinder your getting to know what's in the Bible. So I recommend the NIV. Now, the reason why I got this bilingual Bible is because often the way that the Bible can be translated can be different. So there's actually sometimes, both of my Bibles are NIV, but sometimes when I cross-reference them, there's actually a slight difference in the translation sometimes between English. So that's why I wanted a bilingual Bible, so that it had Spanish, so that I can see how it's translated in Spanish. So it just gets a little bit of a different meaning. Sometimes there are more specific words in the Spanish that relate back to the Hebrew, and then sometimes there's more specific words in the English that relate back to the Hebrew. So that would be an advice. Maybe get a study guide to go with a certain book. You can, I think, buy each individual book if you're wanting to do that, but to be honest, I just wanted it in one book. That was just for me. But yeah, that was my first tip. Get a simple translation. So my second piece of advice would be to get an actual physical copy. A lot of people I know just read the Bible app, which is great. The Bible app has a small place in my heart because I love the plans and I love doing the little devotionals that are specific. But I also just sometimes want a physical copy because the actual act of sitting down and opening my Bible means that I can leave my phone in a different room. It means I'm not going to get distracted. It's so easy to get distracted by your phone. So that would be my second piece of advice. Get a physical copy of a Bible. Okay, so my third piece of advice would be to familiarize yourself with the order of the Bible. So you can get little tabs that hold, like, that are almost like bookmark kind of things. These are just not. These were specific things I was reading. But you can get specific tabs that are like Bible dividers so that you can know what book is where. The more you read your Bible, the more you're going to be able to navigate quickly. So for example, I can pretty much navigate the whole New Testament now just because I've read it pretty much front to back. I mean, I've not finished Revelation, but I think that it's super important to know your way around the Bible so that it doesn't feel as daunting. So let's start in the New Testament. Now, I like this Bible because it has a section down the side where I could write notes, and I always like to date my Bible notes. Now, I can do a whole other video on how I do study my Bible, or I can even do Bible studies, but to be honest, I just like to note down specific things that jump out at me, and I think it's super important that you personalize this. That's why I like to read the Bible on my own rather than with a study. But sometimes, especially for the more complex books like Revelation, I think it's really important to have a study. But there's no harm in doing twice, reading yourself and then reading the study. Another thing, this is my last piece of advice, don't read the Bible alone. Obviously read it yourself, but then meet up with people. So when I first became a Christian, I was doing readings with Ben and Angie, and we said, right, for example, we're going to read Matthew chapter 26 and 27, and then we came together and we were like, right, what spoke out to you? What do you think was important, kind of thing? And I think that this was a really good way of kind of coming together with someone who's already been a Christian and maybe getting little bits that you aren't going to know. So when I first read the Bible, I didn't realize everything. I mean, if you read it like 5 times, you're still going to be picking up new things, and that's the thing that's so amazing about the Bible. But I think that it's so important to kind of learn the context. So especially in the Old Testament, there's a lot of contextualization that's really important that you just maybe wouldn't even think of. So for example, the culture at the time, so like the fact that the way that some things are written, so particularly in reference to the way that a male should treat a woman, or in a relationship, I think that a lot of the time people can kind of be on the defensive about the way that the Bible words things, but we have to put it into the context of the situation and understand the culture that was at the time of it being written. I can't think of a specific example right now, but I'm sure I probably will later. But yeah, they're pretty much my top tips for reading the Bible. And to be honest, don't start front to cover. Like, don't start in Genesis because it's a hefty book. I started in Matthew, but another really good book to start in is James. I love the book of James, and if you want, I can do a Bible study on the book of James, and we can do like a study with me kind of thing. But to be honest, there's no going wrong. As long as you're reading the Bible and getting into the nitty-gritty of it, then you can't go wrong. You're still building on your faith. And the more you read it, the more you'll see more things. So I hope this video was really helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and be sure to click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. If you're not interested in the faith-related videos, then be sure to check out my study and swim related channel, which is literally called Study and Swim. Where I post everything related to university, swimming, life, general. I mean, obviously faith is life. That's why I wanted to create a separate channel, but I've already done a video on that, so you guys will probably already know that if you're a OG. And yeah, Make sure you spread the word, and please, please, as always, comment below your prayer requests. I'm always happy to pray for you. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.